Ta-da! Just like that.
What's that?
New motor on that Dyno. Just no time at all. Time has moved quickly. Big Block Chevrolet.
What is cubic?
No idea. Cubic inches wise. No idea what we're expecting out of it. It's a methanol motor. This is not one Bob built. This is one he is testing for somebody. There has previously been some concern about oil pressure issues. So we have not, or he has not done anything as far as disassembly with any of this stuff. We are running his ATM big boy carburetor on this.
Does it work on that?
Gonna put oil in it. I've got the plugs out of it. I'm going to prime it to make sure that it's got oil pressure before we do anything from here. But you just missed like an hour and a half of stuff. That wouldn't have been very exciting. If you're interested in how to put a motor on and take a motor off the dyno, go watch my previous video. I did that in that video. You don't need to see that over and over again. But this should be pretty cool. We're expecting somewhere north of 800 to 900 horsepower, maybe. So we'll see. This should at least make some hellacious noises. Hopefully good hellacious noises. And this is gonna get serious. So this is about 600 cubic inch machine. We are going to fire this stuff up off of C16, and then it's going to switch over to methanol. So this is going to be rowdy. I believe the house dyno record, as far as any of us can tell, NA, is 924 horsepower. 600 cubic inches with some RPMs and a whole lot of compression. This is going to be a 4-digit pull, I think. This is going to be awesome. Also, by the way, because it's going to be running on methanol, I will not be shooting any video inside the dyno cell. This stuff is incredibly terrible to be breathing in or be around, so I will not be in here, and it will be very, 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 very loud. So I'm going to film from in the dyno cell. We are going to make a poll on the race gas itself, and then we're going to see how it does, and then we're going to take it up to methanol as well. So we're also going to warm it up off of C16 as well. So that's where we are, putting race gas in the dyno cell. We're close. Got to get one last quart of oil in it. It's a 8-quart pan plus 1 for the filter, so 9 quarts of Brad pen, or pen grade, excuse me. My bad. And yeah, I'm gonna make some noises. Yeah, that's serious stuff. I believe it's like $200 for a 5-gallon jug. Real racing ain't cheap.
Turn the ignition on when I'm cranking it.
Okay. Fuel's off.
Yeah, turn the fuel on.
Okay.
You can watch the pressure if you want.
Fuel's on. We are at 8 pounds.
All right.
properly ventilating. You ready? That thing is rowdy. I'm gonna walk outside and do a little catching that thing idle. We got to get it up to operating temp, so it's gonna take a little bit. I am new to the methanol game. I've never done that myself, so as far as I am aware and what I understand, that does have a hell of a cooling factor to it. Got a pretty good soundtrack to it. Pretty good soundtrack. Got 10 minutes. Got some oil pressure looking good. You gotta shake like you're in the car with it. Look at those EGTs. How cold that exhaust is. That's wild.
That's pretty, yeah.
Half the temperature of gasoline? Wow. Leave that door closed as long as possible.
man, perfect.
And that's your house dyno, not even set up for his specifically.
What now?
That's your house dyno carbon.
Yes, that's my dyno ATM.
Yeah, that's not specifically set up for his motor.
No, it's just out of the box. Out of the box.
So
look at this. Look at this. Nice. It's still climbing.
It's yeah.
We'll go to 75 the next time.
Peak power at 69.54. So apparently it wants to keep spinning.
Yep.
So 936 at 69.54 and 806, 807 at 5,300. Impressive. We are going to try to give it a bit more fuel. Bob made himself this spiffy-diffy little bypass setup over here so he can manually adjust how much fuel is being bypassed so that we're not over-pressurizing the system, which is actually a pretty cool little feature. So now you've got the fuel pressure regulator up here as well as a manual ability back there, so we'll be able to fine-tune fuel flow, which will be nice. At the very top end of that, you look like you were losing fuel pressure. Not terribly, but you were getting to the point where it's losing fuel pressure. AFR still looked great, but it was basically running out of fuel. It was making power all the way up to the very top of that run, so we're going to bump up the max RPM to like, what are you going to run at 7,500?
Hello!
Yeah, so.
Just trying to break somebody's motor. Sounded really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it's on the picture. Just on the picture.
So you can see, I don't know if you can see or not, see that this is the horsepower. And it's really nice and smooth, you know, and see the camshaft, I would say, would kick in about there. It's probably 4,800. The cam starts kicking in. You can see the torque go up.
Yeah.
You know, so it was very smooth. I will say it's very smooth. On our AFRs, they were very smooth. They were right at, you know, 12.5 to 13. On the fuel pressure, you know, we set the pressure at about almost 8 pounds, and at 3,500 we had lost 2 pounds. This has a lot to do with our new fuel system here we're trying to generate, and it fell off, but evidently there was enough fuel in this situation to not let it go lean, because the AFRs or the EGTs over here was still 1,100 degrees, 1,150 to 1,200, so they were right in range on the EGT temperatures. So we're going to try and let more fuel pressure into this thing without running it over, and then make another pull, go to 7,500 and see if what it makes on the top end. I figured it was better for him to look at the engine than it was me.
Can you see it?
I can see it, but I can't read it.
So this thing on the top is the horsepower. It leveled off and it carried that all the way. Engine power out there at, let me follow this. At 7,500 it was still making 926. And so it carried us and leveled off all the way out through there.
Wow. From like 6,800 to...
Yeah. It is a wide power gain. Well, a wide power band. And honestly, it really wasn't falling off much. I bet it'd go almost 8. Or, you know, at least another 200 or 300 RPM. The AFRs was good. And we'll probably put some alcohol in there and try and push the gas out of it.
So we're switching to his stuff's terrible. Okay. And this is almost completely all gone. That's almost gone. I said this earlier that I've never run methanol in any of my cars. It's not my gig, but I'm also not an ethanol guy because I don't run E85 in any of my stuff. But one of my major questions was, why would you run methanol in it? Because sometimes these apparently make less power on methanol than they do on that stuff. And the answer is cost. That stuff is, $20, $30 a gallon. Whereas methanol is like $3 to $4 a gallon. So very similar argument to having, why would you buy race gas versus E85? Cost. You can get 100 octane or 105 octane ethanol, E85. Why would you bother spending 8 times that to be able to put race gas in it? So it makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. It's got some other properties as well as far as cooling factors and that kind of stuff goes, but very interesting to see. This is not something that I've ever been involved in. I've never been in this game, so very cool to see. Thank you for letting me film this, sir. Very cool. I like your Big Block Chevy. It's nice. So, only difference using his carburetor and switching to methanol. Not touching anything timing wise. And we'll pull it again and see whether or not it gains, loses, or stays the same. What is your ATM same body style, body size? 1250?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I think
We'll see. This is the point of the program where you hit pause and you let us know what you think it's going to make. 6 or 936, I think is what it made.
Hey, what size is this?
1250.
Huh? 1250. So our alcohol, our regular ones, they went that big.
I was gonna ask you how big it was.
937.5 is what we made last time.
We built it for that.
So that's what we made on that other stuff. Is it going to make more? Is it going to make less?
I thought it was bigger.
This carburetor may also be bigger. What's worse for your diet? Methanol fumes or race gas fumes? Methanol or leaded race gas? Oh. Didn't like something?
Well, why we
Forget to plug something in? Just didn't have any fuel up there yet?
Yes, now.
Let's go ahead and let me get
If you have made it this far in the video, thank you very much for the viewership. I truly do appreciate you. This is Automotive Adventures with Austin, my own little personal corner of the YouTube internets, where I work on some of my own projects and I work on some stuff with Bob, and we're building 2 Pontiac 350s at the moment. One's going to be a normal pump gas 9-to-1, cast iron headed, normal Pontiac 350, original piston size. This one is going to be a 350 HO, where we're going to be kind of throwing the whole kitchen sink at it, see what we can do out of pump gas with some modifications, better heads, roller valve train assembly, and a couple of other tricks to see whether or not is the juice worth the squeeze to do that kind of thing. I've got a bunch of other projects that are coming up here as well. I've got an AMC 360 build that we're doing. It's going to be supercharged. and a bunch of other stuff. So if you guys are interested in this kind of thing, click on the subscribe button. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to talk Bob into letting me come up here and play with my toys and build some stuff with him as much as possible. Otherwise, I do go on a lot of adventures and automotive stuff, and I have a lot of pretty cool toys. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, click on the subscribe button. It'd be great to see you. Also, I don't remember if I mentioned this or not, but everything that we're making off this video and anything else that you guys watch for the entire rest of the month of February, we are donating every single dollar of that to the Central and Eastern Kentucky folks through the Kent Rose Foundation. Those folks are getting pounded with flooding. They're going to have a very, very long recovery.
Hey.
And yes, sir.
Crud.
Ooh. Ooh. That stuff calls rusting that bad? So it's like when you let ethanol sit, it corrodes the shit out of stuff. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to give everything we possibly can out of these videos to be able to impact some people whose lives have been impacted by the flooding down there in Kentucky. So thanks very much for being here. If you made it this far, you guys are awesome, and you're helping to help other people. Good job, you. Little carburetor surgery, and we're back in business. See if she'll fire back up. Come on, baby. There we go. You fixed the thing. I like your mascara too. It's a good look for you. Figure I'll get like 3/4 of the way through the video before I mention that. All right, so we gotta let this thing get back up to some sort of good temperature. Take a deep breath.
Methanol.
Oh man, started to burn the eyes.
Oh
Yeah, started to burn the eyes. So 972 at 6,200 RPMs. So 700 RPMs lower.
And that carburetor is we believe, that ATM carburetor is probably a 1050.
Okay. So
And
it's
this is
benefiting from a physically
this
larger
is, yeah,
carb.
this is a bigger.
And we're running out of
Run out of fuel.
fuel.
When did the fuel drop?
Probably right after the maximum horsepower.
I mean, it's down across the board. Yeah. Okay. So what we're looking at is the AFR here.
Yeah.
And it's
The one dropped out. This one dropped out, and then this one here registered, but it went lean.
yeah. And that's when you see this little breakup up here.
Yeah, it's just ran out of fuel.
So it made the most power right before it started to run out
So
of
you
fuel.
know it wants more.
Oh yeah, it definitely wants more fuel.
And I'm
You can't give it more fuel. Sorry. You cannot give it more fuel.
Bob and his trusty screwdriver doing some idle circuit tuning. I'm going to try to fatten this thing up a little bit at idle, make it a little less pissed off where it is, and then we got to figure out how to give this thing more volume of fuel. So, yeah. All right, so you almost made 1,000 horsepower. We almost made 1,000 horsepower. I'm going to be part of that, And we discovered that the new fuel pump that we have is not going to do what we want it to do. So we're going to have to end this here and get a new fuel pump, another new fuel pump.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, the fact is I've crossed a bridge that hasn't been called upon to cross.
Yeah.
With horsepower and
fuel type.
And fuel type and just everything. And you know, there's a fix. You just got to work through it and find it and try to make it. Honestly, if this is the biggest problem I have.
Yeah. Otherwise, the dyno did fantastic.
The dyno did fantastic. You know, engine did fantastic for him. Wasn't any part of that engine. So that testing went well. So, you know, it was all a good. It was just, this is part of this business.
Yeah.
Part of race cars is 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
What's my next bottleneck? This is your bottleneck.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a bottleneck. Yeah. So.
All right. So the good news is, Jugs has the pump that we need. The bad news is that means I need to go swap out this pump for one that we do need, and then come back up here tomorrow and drop that pump off.
Well, maybe we can meet somewhere or something.
I don't know that I want to just not see this thing fucking run right.
Oh, okay, that's great.
I mean, that thing's got 1,000 horsepower.
Oh, absolutely.
It had. If you watch the graph, if you look where it is, if you look where it's got 1,000 horsepower in it, and that's also on 31 degrees of timing.
Yeah, and I would like to make it some pulls on it, and him actually advance the timing and see what it does. I think it's going to pick up more because it's just a little bit sluggish. You can just see it. It's wanting to eat more.
So, I guess this saga will be another video. I think my plans for travel just changed. So, we'll wrap this up here, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you very much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.